All right, guys, welcome to day number 3 of our types of colleges. Today we're going to continue talking about specialty colleges, and we're starting off with tribal colleges. So in the United States, tribal colleges and universities, or TCUs, are a category of higher education, minority-serving institutions defined in the Higher Education Act of 1965. So each of these qualifies for funding under the Tribally Controlled Colleges and Universities Assistance Act of 1978, or the Navajo Community College Act, or is cited in Section 532 of the Equity in Education Land Grant Status Act of 1994. So depending on when the college was founded, they essentially fall under one of these designations for funding or establishment. So these are generally controlled and operated by American Indian tribes, and they have become a part of the American Indians institution building in order to pass on their own cultures. So these are different from the American Indian schools that happened right around the time of Andrew Jackson. So these are ones that do celebrate American Indians' heritage and are often found on reservations. And so the first college was founded by the Navajo Nation in 1968 in Arizona, and several others were established in the 1970s. And so as of 1994, they have been authorized by Congress as land grant colleges. Presently, there are a total of 32 fully accredited tribal colleges and universities, or 32 TCUs, in the United States, with one formal candidate for accreditation. So while these might not necessarily have the standard accreditation as other colleges, they are definitely seen as a valid type of education in tribal life, and this is a great way for students to earn their education to become different careers within the tribe itself. So another type of specialty college are women's colleges. So these fall under single-sex colleges as the designation. And so they are considered single-sex U.S. institutions of higher education that admit only female students. And so they're usually often liberal arts colleges. And there are approximately 34 active women's colleges in the United States in 2018. These were initially founded because there was some segregation within schools where some schools only admitted male students. And so in order for women to gain access to higher education, women's colleges were founded, and they usually started to be focused on careers and professions that were open to females at the time, like teaching colleges or ones for secretary and office work. Today, they offer a wide variety of different career choices and degrees that you can earn through them. One of our next ones is Hispanic Serving Institutions. So these ones are a little bit different in terms of specialty colleges because this is more of a designation, and colleges that fit other categories can actually earn this designation. So Hispanic Serving Institutions, or HSIs, are defined in federal law as an accredited degree-granting public or private nonprofit institution of higher education with 25% or more total undergraduate Hispanic full-time student enrollment. So that means their total Hispanic student population must make up 25% or more of the total population. So in 2018 and 2019 academic year, there were a total of 539 institutions that met the federal enrollment criteria in order to be designated as a Hispanic serving institution. So we tend to find these types of institutions more in the Southwest and on the West Coast. Texas does have several Hispanic serving institutions that have that designation within the state. Another type of specialty college are faith-based colleges. And so with faith-based colleges, the campus community maintains the same religious beliefs and values. And so they're usually a smaller private college, and they have a lower student to faculty ratio. So in the United States, there are several Christian faith-based colleges, and there are also colleges based off of different religious backgrounds as well. We do have several faith-based colleges here in Texas. Probably the most famous and one of the largest here in Texas is going to be Baylor. We do have several others here within San Antonio itself, such as Trinity University, UIW, and Our Lady of the Lake. And so you are going to find faith-based colleges all throughout the country that pertain to different types of faith. One of the other largest ones in the country is Brigham Young University up in Idaho, and that again is based off of another faith. So faith is something important to you. It's definitely something that you can look into is for universities that have recognition of faith-based values and morals. Our final type of specialty college that we are going to look at are military academies. And so a military academy or service academy in the United States is an educational institution which prepares candidates for service in the officer corps. They place a high emphasis on military preparation, academic rigor, and physical fitness. Most military schools are private and have high tuition with financial aid available. Years of service in the military can often offset tuition costs. So, for example, a student can enroll in a traditional military academy, such as like the Air Force Academy or Annapolis for the Navy or West Point for the Army, and they can pledge to do 5 years of active duty service and 3 years of reserve service in exchange for the cost of their tuition, their housing, their books, and all of their things that they need in order to graduate with their degree. There are military institutions outside of those run by just the service academies. For example, here in Texas, we do have the Texas A&M Corps of Cadets, and so those are focused on being more of like a military academy style of learning. And for those students that participate in that, they generally transition into the military, and again, in order to serve and to get some of their tuition cost offset. Another one that's pretty well known is the Citadel in South Carolina. And some of these outside of specific military branches do handle different branches within the military of which they feed, and some of them do feed into multiple different branches of the military. So on top of military academies, most colleges do have like an ROTC component. And so the ROTC component is not the same as going to a military academy. And again, a military academy is specifically focused on preparing candidates for service in the officer corps of the different military branches. So this concludes our look at the different types of colleges that are available for students to choose from when thinking about their higher education goals.